ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्म विद्या संप्रदाय कर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ॐ समस्त ब्रह्मविद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो नमः। परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे नमः। श्रीवेदव्यास वैशम्पायन याज्ञवल्क्य आद्यशङ्करादिगुरुभ्यो नमः। अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। समस्त गुरूणां देवतानाम् अनुग्रहेण उपनिषदुक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधस्य अस्मिन् क्षणे एव सिद्ध्यर्थं सनातनधर्मस्य वैदिकसंस्कृतेः विश्वव्याप्त्यर्थं विश्वशान्तिकल्याण एकता प्राप्त्यर्थं समस्त सनातनधर्म वैदिकसंस्कृतेः भक्तानां साधकानां संरक्षकाणां च विघ्ननिवारण शत्रुनिर्मूलन आयुरारोग्यक्षेमस्थैर्यादि धनकनकादि समस्त सत्संपदा शक्तीनां साधनानाम् अवाप्त्यर्थं श्री तैत्तिरीय उपनिषदः पारायणम् आद्यशंकर भाष्य समेत अध्ययनं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। आदौ पारायणं we have to chant from यश्छन्दसां वृषभः। ॐ अथ शिक्षावल्ली पारायणं यश्छन्दसां वृषभो विश्वरूपः छन्दोभ्योऽध्यमृतात् सम्बभूव समेन्द्रो मेधया स्पृणोतो अमृतस्य देवधारणो भूयासं शरीरं मे विचर्षणं जिह्वा मे मधुमत्तमा कर्णाभ्यां भूरिविश्रुवं ब्रह्मणः कोशोऽसि मेधया विहितः श्रुतं मे गोपाय आवहन्ते वितन्वाना कुर्वाणा चीरमात्मनः वासागंसि मम गावश्च अन्नपाने च सर्वदा ततो मे श्रियमावह लोमशां पशुभिः सह स्वाहा आमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा विमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा प्रमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा दमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा शमायन्तु ब्रह्मचारिणः स्वाहा यशोजने सानि स्वाहा श्रेयान्वस्य सोसानि स्वाहा तन्त्वा भगप्रविशानि स्वाहा समाभग प्रविश स्वाहा तस्मिन् सहस्रशाखे निभगाहं त्वयि मृजे स्वाहा यथाप प्रवतायन्ते यथा मासा अहर्जरम् एवं मां ब्रह्मचारिणः धातरायन्तु सर्वतः स्वाहा प्रतिवेशोऽसि प्रमाभाहि प्रमापद्यस्व भूर्भुवः सुवरिति वा एतास् तिस्रो व्याहृतयः तासामुहस्मैतां चतुर्थीं माहाचमस्य प्रवेदयते मह इति तद्ब्रह्म स आत्मा अङ्गान्यन्या देवताः भूरिति वा अयं लोकः भुव इत्यन्तरिक्षं सुवरित्यसौ लोकः मह इत्यादित्यः आदित्येन वाव सर्वे लोका महीयन्ते भूरिति वा अग्निः भुव इति वायुः सुवरित्यादित्यः मह इति चन्द्रमाः चन्द्रमसा वाव सर्वाणि ज्योतिगंसि महीयन्ते भूरिति वा रुचः भुव इति सामानि सुवरिति यजोगंषे मह इति ब्रह्म ब्रह्मणा वाव सर्वे वेदा महीयन्ते भूरिति वै प्राणः भुव इत्यपानः सुवरिति व्यानः मह इत्यन्नम् अन्नेन वाव सर्वे प्राणा महीयन्ते तावा एताश्चतस्रश्च तुर्धा चतस्रश्चतस्रो व्याहृतयः तायो वेद स वेद ब्रह्म सर्वे एस्मै देवा बलिमावहन्ति ओम शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ओम अथ द्वितीया ब्रह्मानन्दवल्ली ओम यस्मात् जातं जगत् सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रलीयते येनेदं धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं तैत्तिरीयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरुचीनां हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते ओमथ द्वितीया ब्रह्मानन्दवल्ली ओं सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ओम शान्तिः 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 ओम अथ प्रथमोऽनुवाकः ओम ब्रह्मविदा आप्नोति वरं तदेशाभ्युक्ता सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्तं ब्रह्म यो वेद निहितं गुहायां परमे व्योमन्न सोऽश्नुते सर्वान् कामान् सह ब्रह्मणा विपश्चिते ते तस्माद्वा एतस्मादात्मनः आकाशः सम्भूतः आकाशाद्वायुः वायोस्तेजः तेजस आपः अद्य पृथिवी पृथिव्या ओषधयः ओषधीभ्योऽन्नम् अन्नात् पुरुषः स वा एष पुरुषोऽन्नरसमयः तस्येदमेव शिरः अयं दक्षिणपक्षः अयमुत्तरपक्षः अयमात्मा इदं पुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवते ओम शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Salutations to Taittiriya Upanishad Acharyas of Vedavyasa Vaishampayana Yagnavalkya Adi Shankara Bhagavan and all our gurus. Salutations to Samasta Brahma Vidya Acharya Rishimuni Guru and our own Aradhya Ishta Devatas. Salutations to Shruti Mata. Salutations to the Parabrahma. Study of Upanishads, as always, is not an easy bite for everyone or anyone. Especially in this Taittiriya, that too in this second Brahmananda Valli, the Brahma LAKSHANAS given by Shruti Mata and elaborately explained by the Bhashyakara is not to make it difficult for us or is not to complicate the thing. But this is how the Brahman is. This is the only way that Brahman can be discovered through study and inquiry. There is no option than this type of Vicharana to go beyond the most obvious world of plurality, multiplicity, anatma of Brahma. Then to discover the self or Paramatma. And also, it is you and I in our own antakarana are naturally living the life of so much of delusions and ignorances that unless those are wiped off or washed off with a strong detergent of contemplation and inquiry, we will not even be able to understand also about the presence of something which is non easily apprehendable, which is beyond this. So, this is how this, whatever you call as powerful Maya, working outside in the form of whole universe, Agatita, Ghatana, Patiyasi Maya. You studied in that. In that Brahman, which is Nitya Nirantara, Eka, Advitiya, Satyajnana Ananta, unborn, unborn, modifiable, unchanging world, unchanging Paramatma. The Maya has projected the whole world of such a huge multiplicity. Agadita Ghatana, same Maya in our subjective life also, hiding our essential self, projecting such a powerful Panchakoshas that we are helpless victims of those Panchakoshas, and here we identify with them, and there we take this projected world as real. Power of Maya. And one another expression of Maya is our own अंतःकरण. अब देखो, चोर से पुलिस वाला काम कराओ तो होता है क्या? वो खुद ही चोर है. Is it not? In the same way, mind itself is Maya at play. It cannot live without multiplicity. And the self is beyond the mind. And we want to use the mind, which is the mind means antakarna or chitta, which is a projection of Maya, to go beyond Maya and know the Lord. See the toughness here. See the difficulty. It sometimes like, an example, politics. You didn't get absolute majority, but you want the power. Then what to do to defeat the opposite? You make alliance with those who are absolutely opposite with you in your policies and all. But what to do? For the sake of power, we compromise. But that government will never last for long. Here also, we are just today trying to understand the difficulties in Adhyatmika Marga. And mind revels only in the known things, in those which are pursued by the senses, or it has a projecting power backed by the Vasanamaya Kosha. The worst of all is what? From many, many, many lives, we are habituated to live the life of manyness, life of worldliness, life of extrovertedness, life of karta, karma, karma phala, all of that. Therefore, not only we are not trying to leave this go beyond, even the thought of leaving this multiple world and seeing something beyond itself is either not acceptable, or it is non practical, or even that is frightening. That's how every individual goes through. So, all these padavs are the stages we have to cross. That is a lengthy process of spirituality, taking so many lives. And that also for those who are ready to wake up and start using the sleeping intellect for spirituality. Intellect is available for the worldliness through the mind and senses. But sleeping intellect, a rusted intellect, dusted intellect, we have to wake up, we have to free it from the clutches of rajas and tamas through the mana indriya adi, then to a new field of Upanishadic inquiry and study that buddhi has to be used for or employed or exposed. वो बेचारा ये पूरा उसको नया फील्ड है दुनियादारी का कहो द बुद्धि इज easy for it. But tell about understanding these seemingly tough and difficult things through the inquiry. Buddhi initially says, not possible for me, not required for me, I am happy as a worldly person. So this is how everybody comes to spiritual class of Vedanta, stays 2-3 minutes and they go away. Because of the present inability of intellect. But only those who are under the strict guidance of Guru to whom they have surrendered, trained by the Guru for many years, they'll be able to inquire and contemplate in the line shown by the Shruti Mata or Bhashyakar. Then only one by one these subtle things we will be able to catch and understand. That is how tough it is, spiritual progress, there's no way. But the reward also is so beautiful that when we go beyond the tadatmya of the upadhis and get identified with the nirupadhika Brahma Tattva, at one go, the ocean like endless dukkha also goes away, and another, the ocean like endless आनंद also comes to us. देखो फिर फला फिर इतना बढ़िया सा फल इससे मिलने वाला है तो इंटेलिजेंट पर्सन will choose and will accept the challenges called as all difficulties in sadhana and tries to put his all required due possible efforts. Such alone is the one who will slowly, steadily excel. ये चलता रहेगा चलता रहेगा चलता रहेगा. We are in that path. Blessed by Guru Parampara and Shruti Mata and Ishvara. And also our own willingness, sankalpa. When did it start? We don't know. Though that sankalpas of spirituality are not so strong that we give up everything and only pursue this. And yet, some level of our own contribution of willingness, sankalpas, making us invoke these three graces and put efforts in trying to understand the reality, the truth through the study of Brahma Vidya called as Upanishads. And for our fortune, we are born post Adi Shankara. Therefore, his Bhashya comes to our help, comes to our rescue. And later on, whoever have given whatever commentaries, pro or against Vedanta, for all of them, base and support is Adi Shankara Bhagavan only. Just imagine if that great avatara is not there. We would have been never studying Upanishads, Brahma Vidya, Prasthanatraya perfectly for obtaining the moksha. So, just a remembrance of Adi Shankara Bhagavan with the gratitude that his Bhashya is helping us. Now, we have done some portion of discussion on the Swarupa Lakshanas of Brahman. Come what may, Brahman is known only through experience. But to experience, you have to do something. That something is called as meditation. To meditate, first of all, ब्रह्म है ये क्लैरिटी होना चाहिए. उसको पा सकते हैं ये कन्विक्शन होना चाहिए. वो ये लक्षण वाला है ये नॉलेज होना चाहिए. और इस तरह कॉन्टेम्पलेट करना है. दिस गाइडेंस रिक्वायर्ड. Entire struggle is that in this Prathamanuvaka Brahma Lakshana Vichara, which Bhagavan Adi Shankara is making us do. And that's what you see in the questions of Purvapakshi. Either he doesn't accept the Lakshanas or he says they are not Lakshanas but they are Visheshana, or he says it cannot be obtained और थोड़ा मौका दिया जाए. He says such vastu is not there only. This is what the mind of you and me, who is Purvapakshi, is a sincere, genuine seeker only, you and I, who in trying to comprehend, understand, when we are not able to lift our intellects to those higher and subtler levels, the inability in us to understand makes us ask such doubts, such questions, which is inevitable. And Siddhanti understands Purvapakshi's position and problem, and he beautifully explains. But again, unless Purvapakshi, that is you and I, sincerely, seriously, repeatedly expose our intellect to that explanation, we will not be able to understand his standpoint of how he is explaining Brahma Tattva. And as we every day say, the Krupa is also required, and that is invoked through the Upasanas. Through Upasana, grace is invoked, and repeatedly we are attempting. Slowly, the intellect gathers that subtlety and gets that required knowledge and conviction. पहले तो ये ब्रह्म है, ये ब्रह्म नहीं है, दोनों मिक्सड अप है, उनको अलग करके जो ब्रह्म नहीं है उसका त्याग करके जो ब्रह्म है उसको पकड़ना है. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल दिस क्लैरिटी शुड कम, दिस अंडरस्टैंडिंग शुड कम, दिस कन्विक्शन शुड कम. After that only the true sadhana starts, depending on where we are. With all this understanding gained with the subtle intellect, under the guidance of Guru also, that understanding person can be at the grossest level of worldliness only. Therefore, in spite of all this subtle understanding, his sadhana starts from karma yoga only. Because he is there. He may be knowing the roadmap and destination. But journey to starts from where we are. So too, that's why all this jignasura are given. The Tattva Jnana, Brahma Jnana, equally. Perhaps they receive also. But sadhana is not same to all because each one is at the different levels. Sometimes even the basic thing called as sadhana chatushtaya sampada also we may be lacking. One side, the sadhana chatushtaya we have to gain. Other side, through karma adi, upasana adi, we have to purify our antakarna intellect. A sharp intellect will make us understand the theory, which is not sufficient. We need a subtle and pure intellect for doing sadhana and reaching the self on the street of contemplation. That pure and subtle intellect is what we gain through all these so-called sadhanas. With sharp intellect, we might have understood the theme, but that won't help. But in the world, fellow is very sharp. Therefore, he can do a lot. But if his intellect is not pure, the same sharpness, he will misuse for some negative thing. So he needs pure intellect. And also, this subject being not of the worldliness, only sharpness is not required, sufficient of intellect. Subject being beyond the world, some intuitive, subtle intellect is required. Pure as well as subtle. So through all our sadhanas, we have to aim at that. One side we are doing Brahma Vidya Shravanam, other side we are doing Viveka Vairagya, third side doing Karma Yoga Upasana. This is how we are traveling properly in all three tracks. One more track you can add, that of fulfilling our dharma. Because without filling up all the forms and proper signatures as expected, computer will not accept even the application also. Therefore, without dharma and through dharma, without clearing the debts and all obligations, duties, application itself is not received. So that is the fourth track. Track of dharma, track of karma yoga, bhakti yoga, track of consciously doing viveka vairagya, shamadamadi, track of regularly listening to the Upanishad with Bhashya from our acharyas. Fix in these four things. Keep on moving. Go on moving, it will happen. रोड पे चलते रहो, चलना होता रहेगा, एक दिन वो डेस्टिनेशन पहुंच ही जाएंगे. So to you and I, when we follow these four, one day we will also reach to the destination. Now, Satyam is the word used to indicate the Lakshana of the Brahma. Through the word Satya, Brahman is told to be that experience which is always within us, which is Vikara Rahita. Vikarat Nivartet. Nirvikar. Non-modification. That non-modification state is a state of the self only. Because even in simple common sense logic, we can see that I am remaining the same. The world in front of me only is going on changing, modifying. But the problem is, this I is mixed up with the Panchakoshas also. Therefore, that I, which is Nirvikara, indicated as Satya or Brahma by the Upanishad, Pakka we are not able to experience. Mixed up hai. That's why in the subsequent Anuvakas, necessarily, inevitably, the Panchakoshas are taken up for vichar. When the Brahma Lakshanas are told, that should have been enough for us for discovering. वो ऐसा नहीं होता. ये पंचकोश मैं करके बार बार वो अपने आप को ही आत्मा के रूप में दिखाते हैं सामने. So through that exhaustive analysis of Panchakosha, only convincingly we can reject them. Eject out of their identity. Then only on the seat of meditation we experience the self, which is Satyam Jnana Vidya. वो बात की बात. So Satyam is Brahma, Avikari, and that is always our own inner self. So Satyam Vikara Rahitam Brahma Atma. What we have to be little conscious is Satyam is a word. It has its meaning. By giving the meaning, which is Lakshana of the Brahma, Satyam word का काम हो गया. Now we have to hold on to the Lakshana. Lakshana also goes away. by taking us to the Brahma. Okay? Now the Brahma also fulfills itself only in the Anubhuti of the Atma. Again, this Atma is not a word, is not a word with meaning. It is Anubhuti only. Be conscious about it. Here we are not doing the jugglery of the word or trying to find corresponding object to the explanation of the words. Though this is what is a way we are trying to use because there is no other way, yet the thing which is discussed, theme which is discussed is beyond all the words and explanations. Keep this thought in mind as we proceed. This thought will help us in not developing some doubts unnecessary. Clear? Now, Jnanam Brahma is again Jnapti Swarupa Jnanam Brahma. So here the Jnana Swarupata Brahma is pure Jnapti Avabodha Bhavarupa positively. In contrast with the Jnanam which we generally gain, in which Triputi is required, in which thoughts are required. That is not there in the Brahman. To this Triputi Yukta Jnanam, always conditioned by any one of them, means if Jnaya is not there, Jnata Jnana cannot be. True, no? So too, if Jnata is not there, Jnaya Jnana cannot be. Then, if the contact is not there between them, called as Jnanam, you cannot call them as Jnata and Jnaya. So much they are interdependent. In Brahma, these are not there. Therefore, it is not depending on anything. That Jnapti. And this Triputi Jnanam is always endful, limited, because always the Jnaya Vastu is not the same. It goes on changing. Accordingly, Jnanam also changes. Jnata also changes. Therefore, Antavan is our Jnanam. But this Jnapti, Avabodha, Swarupa Jnanam is not Antavan, it is Ananta. So these are the main words we have to repeatedly contemplate to become firm, clear. Clear first and clearly firm, firmly clear in the understanding about the search, truth or Brahman or Atman, which we are searching is like this. ऐसा हमको मन में करना पड़ता है. Now, the questions asked by Purvapakshi, that he knows himself, that is rejected. Okay, you want to bring in the self only Jnata and Jneyam. So, Jneyatva he is rejected by taking the example of thought. If the Atma is like a Jneya Vastu, so many Jneya Vastus are there in the world, none of them gave moksha. Therefore, this also will not give moksha. So too, the Anantatva Prasanga will come if the self is or the Brahman is divided into Jnata Gneyam In that way, Jnatrutva also is rejected. Okay. तस्मात् ज्ञातृत्वे सति आनन्ते अनुपपत्तिः. सो ज्ञेयत्व है तो फायदा नहीं उसका, ज्ञातृत्व है तो ज्ञाता अगेन डिपेंड्स ऑन ज्ञेय, देयरफॉर उनका अनंतत्व को हानि होता है. सो दिस आर ऑल द इंक्वायरीज, ब्यूटिफुल, not only helping to reject every anatma, every mode of knowing anatma, but this type of inquiry only, takes us beyond all what do you call them as contradictions or triputis or thought processes of knowing the Brahman. It will take us beyond the thought process. In meditation, we transcend the thoughts to see the self, which is expressed as mind and thoughts in the ignorance of the self. These type of explanations help us for that. Now, beyond this, we saw yesterday the main topic of, he gave us that Purapakshi an example, and he says these three words are to reject the opposite things. After that, their work is over. There is no corresponding object called as Brahman. Therefore, Brahma is not there, Moksha is not there. You have to continue as a Jiva Idopadi, struggling in this big world persecuting us. This is what he is saying. Of that also, we have seen a beautiful explanation. What is the crux of the explanation? First point, Shruti Mata did not say only words Satyam, Jnanam, Anantham. She said word Brahman also. Don't forget that word, my dear. That word is used by Shruti Mata. Second is very subtle. These words, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantham, though I have rejected Asatyam, rejected Jadata, rejected Santam, but their purpose is not that actually. Their purpose is to explain the Brahma Vastu. Please understand the heart of Shruti Mata. These words, which like a Bahu coming to in-laws' house to take care of all in-laws, including along with husband. But she, after coming there, creates all quarrels, fightings, and brings difference between parents and husband and all, and separates the house. Will it look good? In the same way, the words Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam are brought to indicate Brahman to us. That's the purpose of Shruti Mata. What you are doing is, these three words are used for something else, and they are not at all indicating Brahman. In this way, you are doing anyayam there, like a Bahu. Educated mad, mod, Bahu. No, it is not correct. This is the first meaning. Second is what? Just like that, the Lakshanas are not told without the Lakshya Vastu. Why just like the Shruti Mata wastes her energy in talking about some Lakshanas without a Vastu? And why will it be employed to reject something? Always in life, in gaining only there is gaining, not in losing or rejecting. Even we reject, lose many things only to gain something, like sleep. We reject the waking and dream. But then to gain the ananda of the sleep, वो वाला gain नहीं है मानो. Nobody will give up the waking and dream. So, rejection is not fulfillment. Obtaining is fulfillment. To obtain, there should be something. Therefore, Brahman is there which has got these lakshanas. Okay. Another thing is what said, these lakshanas are so one with Brahman that they never leave Brahma Tattva. Just like the Utpala, Neela, Mahata, Sugandhi. This Mahata, Sugandhi, Neela, they leave the Utpala. Like that, Satyam, Jnanantam never leave Brahman. So close. Never live independent only. And yesterday's last thought was, those words are so kind that they dissolve, ready to dissolve with their meaning in the revelation of Brahma Anubhuti for the one who is meditating. It's a very emotional way of saying. Ki, at the Anubhuti level, even the Shabdas, the शब्दों का अर्थ उसका विचारणा का भी जरूरत नहीं है. This will be at the end. Entire thesis जब खत्म होएगा ना of this mantra, Shankara Bhagavan will talk in this language. That it comes here also, therefore we touched upon. So we'll just read out it. What was said by him, like that person with the bow made of Shashashrunga, he is walking. And he is a Vandhya Putra. He just had a bath in the mirage water and he has got Khapushpa, Akasha Pushpa for his decoration. In that way, your Satyam Jnananantam are rejecting other, there is no corresponding Brahma. Answer was given Lakshanarthatvatu, we explained just now. Visheshanatve api satyadinam Lakshanartha pradhanyamit. Though these are all explanations to Brahman, these words, but these explanations are not Visheshana Vishesha Sambandha, Lakshana Lakshita. We have exactly seen that too. Then शून्य ही लक्ष्य अनर्थकम लक्षण वचनम. लक्ष्य नहीं है तो लक्षण का कोई अर्थ मायना नहीं रहता है कि नहीं. टॉल, फैट एंड ग्रे कलर. अब टॉल, फैट एंड ग्रे आर लक्षणास. If there is no lakshya vastu, do these have any meaning? Tall, fat and grey, you have to tell what it is. ये ऊंट हो सकता है, ये घोड़ा होगा, ये गधा होगा, ये कच्छर होगा, ये कोई आदमी होगा, ये बिल्डिंग होगा, ये टावर होगा. कुछ लक्षित के बिना लक्षण का कोई मायना नहीं होता. Satyam Jnanam cannot abstract things hanging. There is some substantial thing called Brahma. Don't say like that. So to Lakshanarthatvat manyamahe na sunyarthata iti. Because these are Lakshanas, definitely there is a Lakshya Vastu. See, here Siddhanti can arrogantly say, stupid fellow, it is experiential, you are not able to understand it. I can't explain to you more than like this. But he is not doing that because he is kind enough. Out of his kindness, he says, बेटा ये लक्षण बिना लक्ष्य का नहीं होता, इसलिए लक्ष्य है, ऐसा मानना पड़ेगा. He is in the experience. Bhagavan, Shankara, Siddhanti. But that experience he cannot show, no? He cannot give it. अगर होता तो इतने उपनिषद की क्या जरूरत होती, दिखा दिया तो हो जाता. It's not like Vishwarupa Bhagavan has shown. Clear? He'll have to lovingly tell, beta manyamahe. Manya means what? अरे लक्ष्य के बिना लक्षण नहीं होता ना. Therefore शून्य नहीं है, लक्ष्य है. ऐसे मानना पड़ेगा. मेरे वास्ते मानो. Like the mother says. ये श्रुति माता only. Mother says ना मेरे लिए खाओ बेटा. वो गधा खाएगा तो फायदा उसको होता है, not to mother. But she uses the sentiment. For what? For making that fellow eat. Here also, to make us accept and pursue the Brahma out of the motherly love, Bhashyakara says, Manyamahe. It is his anubhava. He can say, मैं तो अनुभव में हूँ, बुद्धू तू मान या न मान जा. Then The disciple will not go to any other guru, never go to spirituality. So these are the crucial places where the guru has to show compassion. That's what he says, lovingly. लक्ष्य के बिना लक्ष्य नहीं हो सकते हैं, इसलिए लक्ष्य है, शून्य नहीं है. सो लक्षणार्थत्वात् मन्यामहे न शून्यार्थता इति. Now, there's subtle thing. Lakshana arthata means what here? Satyam, is it indicating non-existence? Can that word mean any time? जो नहीं है उसको असत्यम बोलेंगे. लक्षण का अर्थ यहाँ आई एम टॉकिंग नाउ. लक्षण अर्थत्वात् मन्यामहे न शून्य अर्थता इति. When you talk about satyam shabda, tentatively, even to a common sensed common man, satyam is talking about the existing thing only, no? The word itself can never be used for a satyavastu. Is it not? Even asatyam also has to be said as satyam, like is not. In English they say book is and not, and there or here. Not also is substantiated by isness. So satyam शब्दम का अर्थ में ही अस्तित्व है कि नहीं? ज्ञानम शब्द का फीलिंग में ही अस्तित्व है. अनंतम का अर्थ है. जो नहीं है उसको अनंत कैसे बोलेंगे? जो नहीं है उसको ज्ञानम कैसे बोलेंगे? जो नहीं है उसको सत्यम कैसे बोलेंगे? दिस द मीनिंग ऑफ लक्षण अर्थत्वात्. These they are the lakshanas. Lakshanas are explained exhaustively. Now ये जो लक्षण है जिनके नाम है, शब्द है, उसका भी अर्थ को आप इमेजिन करोगे तो ये एक वस्तु होना चाहिए. तो it's not शून्यार्थता. Therefore, the lakshanas itself are used in such a way. The words is employed for them, for that is indicating to us the presence of Brahman. सत्य नहीं है ऐसा कैसे कर? सत्य का अर्थ ही है करके. लक्षणार्थता मन्या में न शून्यार्था थी. देन विशेषणार्थ, दिस एक्सप्लेन्ड इज अंडरस्टूड. व्हेनेवर यू से सत्यम, it only affirms positively the presence of something only. For the absence, we can't use satyam, absent thing. Even for absent, for the word absence, you have to use again satyam. सो टू ज्ञानम मतलब कोई है उसी को तो ज्ञान होता है. कोई है वही तो अनंत कहा जाएगा. वस्तु है ही नहीं है तो व्हाई डू यू टॉक ऑफ अनंतता? व्हाई डू टॉक ऑफ द ज्ञानम? व्हाई डू टॉक ऑफ द सत्यम इफ इट इज नॉट एट ऑल देयर? सी दैट सटलिटी ऑफ इंक्वायरी हियर है. डेफिनेटली इट इज देयर. But the problem is that with the Brahman is what? It is the self of us and it is beyond the Upadhi. And we are trying to use the Manabuddhi Upadhi to understand which is neither Rupanama and which is beyond even this Manabuddhi. श्रोत्रस्य श्रोत्रम अनुसो मनोयत. कैसे ऐसे वस्तु को देखा है सुना है? Only is that you transcend your Upadhi, you only will experience it. Finally, every guru will have to say like that only. विशेषणार्थत्वेपि सत्यादीनां स्व अर्थ अपरित्यागः एव. स्वार्थ अपरित्यागः एव. This is again we have explained. Other विशेषणास give up the विशेष्य वस्तु. धोखा देते हैं वो लोग. Every विशेषणा gives धोखा to the विशेष्य. Like I am man. My visheshanas, like deha, doesn't remain the same. It goes on changing also. One day it is leaves me and goes also. Every visheshana leaves the visheshya. But ये जो है ना नहीं छोड़ते हैं because they are lakshana. अप्पा. स्वार्थ अपरित्यागे एव. Then this is now same thing said little elaborately. Shunyarthatvehi satyadi shabdanam visheshya niyantrutva anupapattihi. सत्याद्यर्थैः अर्थवत्वे तु तद्विपरीतधर्मवद्भ्यः विशेष्यभ्यः ब्रह्मणः विशेष्यस्य नियंतृत्वम् उपपद्यते. Is a very beautiful subtle thought. कि these three shabdas satyam jnanam anantam have no corresponding object if at all, then they will not be needed to reject the other Visheshanas, opposite Visheshanas, along with it the other Vishesha Vastu which has those Visheshanas. So Satyam Jnanam Anantam. This is Brahma Swarupa. Purvapakshi says Satyam Jnanam Anantam rejects the opposite, but there is no corresponding object. It is what is his point. Corresponding Vastu or Sthiti. The Siddhanta says, if that object or the self Brahman indicated by these three, if it is Shunya, why these words are used to reject the opposite Lakshanas or Visheshanas along with the opposite object, that is the entire universe. So, Shunyarthatve hi Satyadi Shabdanam विशेष्य नियंत्रत्व अनुपपत्ति. विशेष्य नियंत्रत्व मीन्स व्हाट? कुछ विशेषणों को सेपरेट करना, फेंक देना, उसकी जरूरत नहीं है. Therefore, सत्यादि अर्थैः अर्थवत्वे तु, but when satya jnanam anantam have the corresponding Brahman existing, then only tad viparita dharmavadbhyah visheshabhyah visheshyebhyah, those other Visheshyas which have the Viparita Dharma, Brahmana Visheshyasya Niyantrutva Upadyate. So, what is the subtle point here? Here is Brahman, is other than Brahman. These are the Brahma Lakshanas. And these Brahma Lakshanas are not there in anything else. Therefore, those are also having the opposite Lakshana of the Brahman. Thus, how these Brahman is pushing away those Lakshanas as well as those Lakshana Yukta things that way to establish the Brahman. So it's a beautiful sentence here in Sanskrit कि सत्यादि अर्थैः अर्थवत्वे तु तद्विपरीत धर्मवद्भ्यः विशेष्यभ्यः ब्रह्मणः विशेष्यस्य नियंत्रत्वम् उपपद्यते. Niyantrutva means doing nischaya and separating. There are satyam jnanantam are the visheshnas, lakshanas, they are brahman का है. So ब्रह्म को दिखाने के लिए है, अब्रह्म से ब्रह्म को अलग करने के लिए ही ये तीन शब्द अब्रह्म वस्तु को they discard करते हैं. This is how the beauty of these three words ascertaining the Brahma Vastu to us, not that there is Shunyata. The only thing is what? Yato vacho nivartante ityadi. This Brahma Vastu only Anubhava Gamya. The nearest way of talking about it is Satyam Jnanam Anantam. That also to reject everything other than Brahman. This is the only way it can be. That is how the toughness, difficulty, not only to the disciples listening, but even to the Guru also who has to teach. It's it goes on throughout. And after going through some lives, while struggling to understand, in one of the life it clicks to us. That this is the only way Brahman can be told through the help of these words and their corresponding meaning on the seat of meditation. We have to reach and experience that Brahman as our own self, in which none of these words with meaning are valid, but used when again it has to be explained to the subsequent generation of disciples. So, तद विपरीत धर्मवद्भ्यः विशेष्यभ्यः ब्रह्मणः विशेष्यस्य नियंतृत्वम् उपपद्यते. तो ये विशेषण के द्वारा ही दूसरे विशेषणों को धक्का देकर ब्रह्म का हमारे लिए समझदारी दिया जा रहा है. This is a very interesting. What we are talking now is not I am telling you with my mouth and you are listening with your ears. It's all happening on the contemplation seat. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantham are words indicating that experience which cannot be put in any words. But the point is the पूर्व पक्ष ऐसा वाला है ही नहीं, तो एक्सप्लेन करने की जरूरत होती है. Now, वो last thing he is telling now. Guru Maharaj. What is the discussion going on? The Purva Pakshi says ki like that Vandyaputra Shashashrungaha Khapushpaha, like that Brahma है ही नहीं बोल रहा है वो. नहीं बेटा, है वो लक्षण वाला ब्रह्म है. वो लक्षण ब्रह्म के अलग चीजों को धक्का देकर ब्रह्म दिला रहा है हमको. सो these lakshanas are not only to reject the Brahma but to establish Brahma also. Last thing the Guru says here is what? Brahma Shabdaha Swarthena Arthavan Eva. Brahma Shabdaha api Swarthena Arthavan Eva. अरे ब्रह्म एज ए शब्द इट हैज इट्स ओन मीनिंग, बृहत्वात् ब्रह्मणत्वात्. अब एक ब्रह्म शब्द का भी अर्थ में एक वस्तु द्योतक हो रहा है कि नहीं? अब ऐसे कैसे बोलोगे तो है ही नहीं करके? व्हाट इज ब्रह्म? ब्रह्म इज अ वर्ड. व्हाट इट मीन्स? बृहत्वात्. व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ बृहत्वात्? देयर इज समथिंग व्हिच इज बृहत, दैट इज व्हाई इट्स कॉल्ड एज ब्रह्म. अब देयर इज समथिंग, उसी को वर्ड होता है ना. कोई ऐसा शब्द थोड़े होता है जिसका करस्पॉन्डिंग वस्तु नहीं है. नहीं है तो शब्द का मायना ही नहीं होता. Therefore, Brahma Shabda itself shows that there is something. Because Brahma means Brahat. Brahat means कुछ होना चाहिए. How do you reject the Brahma? है ही नहीं. देखो जिनको extrovertedness है, जिनको those who have the habit of seeing the world through senses as the Shabda Sparsha Rupasa Gandha or the concepts of intellect or emotion of mind. Other than this, beyond this, there is something. It is so difficult for them to accept. Even you and I also. Still, we are vague about Brahman. Brahman is always vague. About Brahma, the Jnana should not be vague. And experience will never be vague when we follow the sadhana. ब्रह्मा हमेशा ऐसे ही लगता है. वो कभी उसको समझ नहीं सकते, लेकिन है ऐसा ध्यान करो मिलेगा अनुभव में. इसके प्रति हमको संशय नहीं होना चाहिए. इसे तत्र अनंत शब्द अंतवत्व प्रतिषेध द्वारेण विशेषणम. So and that anta shabda, third one is used for removing the vishesha of antavatva. This Brahma is not only Satyam Jnanam but is also Anantham. To bring that Anantatvam, the Anant, to end or remove the Antatva, the Anantatva Shabda is used. Now yesterday we saw Satya Jnana Shabda Utu, so Artha Samarpanena Eva Visheshane Bhavataha. So that Satyam Jnanam Shabdas also lose themselves in giving the experience of Satyam Jnanam to the seeker, which is Brahma. Here what I said na, sentimentally, कि वो सत्यम ज्ञानम शब्द को भी छोड़ना पड़ता है अनुभव के लिए. रिमेंबर, अनुभव को बताने के लिए शब्द होते हैं सत्य ब्रह्म ज्ञानम. शब्द इज नॉट अनुभव. Shabda is not the experience. To convey the experience, the Shabda is used. Everywhere, sweetness. The experience of sweetness and the word sweetness, इन दोनों का संबंध ही नहीं है. Like cold or pain. Pain came to me. I suffered pain. Now the pain ka experience, the word pain, is there any sambandha? But everybody agrees that for that type of experience, let us call it as pain. Therefore, everybody says it pain. Anywhere in the world, is there any relation between the name and named? Never. Really though. But for transaction's sake, we call it so. Like the word pot and the pot. Pot is made out of mud, it is there, and the word is in my mouth. How can they have any relation? Think. But then in the transaction के लिए, to separate it from other shapes, it is called as pot, it's called as flower pot, it's called as matka. अलग अलग नाम देते हैं उसको. Name's purpose is only to differentiate the things. Otherwise, name is never related to the named. संबंध ही नहीं है कुर्सी. कुर्सी is a word. कुर्सी is there, an object. It only indicates. Therefore, here the beauty is what the Satyam Jnanam Shabdas lose themselves in giving the experience to the meditator. And it has to be also. We should not hold on to the meaning of the words. At the final level of meditation, we have to drop the words, come to the experience. Aham Sat Sarupah Asmi, Aham Jnana Sarupah Asmi. It is like that. Now, 3 or 4 quotations the Bhashyakara takes up to further little more explain about the Brahma Astitva. Then in those quotations only, Purvapakshi finds some fallacy and he asks a question, objection he raises. Guru Maharaj at length answers that also. With that, the confusions regarding Brahman, understanding regarding Brahman, all of them can be set properly. They can be sorted out. So, tasmadva etasmad atmana akasha sambhutah iti brahmani eva atma shabda prayogat vedituho atma eva brahma. Another proof to say that Brahma. यहाँ ब्रह्मविद आपनोति परम कहा. हाँ. Your question is about, sorry, Satyam Jnanam Anantham Brahma kaha. हाँ. Your problem is Brahmana. Now, in the next line only, after this, Yo Vedanitam Guhayam Parame Vyoman, after that, Soshtu De Sarvan Kaman Saha. उसके बाद क्या कहा? Read the Mata, Shruti Mata. तस्माद्वा एतस्माद् आत्मनः आकाश संभूतः. From this Atma only the Akasha came. Siddhanta is telling Purvapakshi that there is a next sentence. From this Atma only Akasha has came. From this Atma it is said. Etasmad Atmana. This word you can use only when you have said something else before it and for that it is said. Like this is a table. After saying, then it is red, it is made of that wood, etc. That it word is used. Therefore, etasmad atmana means what? What was the word used so far? Brahman. Therefore, etasmad atmana is equal to what? Etasmad brahmana only akasha sambhutaha. Now, for the Brahma, Atma Shabda is used by Shruti Mata only. अरे यार आत्मा तो everybody को obvious है. Nobody can feel the absence of himself. See that. Do you feel the absence of yourselves? No. From your real self only Akash Adi came. Shrutimata only saying. And that Atma Shabda Shrutimata used for Brahma. Therefore आत्मा का अनुभव हो रहा है ना आपको? क्या है exactly नहीं पता. That's why we have misunderstood. Upadhi is an Atma that we are going to sort out through Panchakosha Vivek. Anyway, but आत्मा का तो किसी को भी ऐसा absence का भान तो नहीं होता. So this quotation he used. Etasmad Atmana Akasha Sambodha. By saying so, Brahma is the Vedito Atma Eva. How beautiful, see that Shruti's quotation. Ki, the one who is doing sadhana, of him, the Atma alone is Brahman. Atma is never rejected. Therefore, how can you say Brahman is not there? अब इस बात को पूर्व पक्षी will take as a question. He will put it aloud. फिर आत्मा से आकाश निकला तो therefore modification हो गया ना, therefore सत्यता चला गया ना. And to that again the Guru will have to give an answer. The whole thing is what? We are in the world lost. We are lost with the Brahman. We have to lose the world and gain Brahman. So we have to reach to Brahman through the same world. Therefore, the world is an effect, Brahman is a cause. We have to explain. Through that, you go to cause. When you know the nature of the cause called as Brahman, it is Satyam Jnanantam. It never gets changed or modified. Therefore, it never became the cause. Therefore, there is no effect. This exercise we have vigorously done in our Mandukya Upanishad, if you remember. One quotation is this. Tasmadva etasmad atmana akasha sambhutaha. From this Atma only the Akasha came, from that Vayu Agni. Shruti Mata said, do. This Atma Shabda she used for Brahma. Therefore, the Vedita, means the seekers, Atman itself is Brahman. And Atman is never rejected. You can never say, I am not there. You may be absent minded. You cannot be absent. Therefore, ब्रह्म को आत्मा कहा, आत्मा का अनुभव है, therefore ब्रह्म है. Therefore, please use this logic also to accept the Brahman there with the Lakshana of Satyam Jnanam Anantham. And the Satyam Jnanam Anantham words will reject everything other, and itself also, themselves also, they lose giving the Brahman, giving the seeker the Anubhuti of Brahma, which cannot be put in any words. If it all put, again Satyam Jnanam Anantham. Next quotation he says is Atma eva Brahma. Then etamanandamaya atmanam upasankramati iti cha atmatam darshayati. Etam anandamaya atmanam upasankramati. After the anandamaya kosha crossed, anandamaya atma mein this jiva through meditation merges, it is said. If that atma is not there, the upasankramanam or merging, how will it be talked? Like river merged in ocean, and ocean is not there. How do you say ocean is not there and river is merged? So to Anandamayam Atmana Upasankramati says that Atma Vastu is there into which this Jiva enters through identity. And this Atma word used for Brahman there. Therefore very much Brahman is there. Okay. So to Tat Praveshacha, tomorrow we'll talk it little more. Pravesha Shruti also is there. What did it say? Tat Sruštva Tadeva Anupravishatichi Taseva Jiva Rupena Sharira Pravesham Darshayit. In this very Upanishad, it will be told, he only created the entire world, he only entered into them and playing the role, acting the role like the Jiva, it is said. अब इतना बताने के बाद भी तुम ब्रह्म नहीं है बोलते हो, क्या बात है? Now these points, quotations used by Guru will be used by the Purvapakshi for again raising the earlier questions only. Because इसमें lot of kriya is seen. Tat Sruštva is a kriya, Tadevanu Pravishat is a kriya, then Akasha Sambhuta, it's a modification. Then to this, that answer which is given, very, very important, which sums up all the things which we have to understand. Very, very powerful. This question, as well as these quotations used by Guru, questions raised on the quotation, Guru's answers, these topics we will see. In that way, one more day if we take up, maybe tomorrow, it will be over. This discussion on Satyam Jnanam Anantham. And we'll just sum up in 5-10 minutes as to what therefore is said. What is the crux of it, essence of it, कोशिश करेंगे. Thank you. Om, 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 Om. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namah Paramanushabhyo Parabrahmane Shrutimatre Vedavyasa Vaishabhayane Agnavan Kadya Shankara Asmad Gurubhyo Namah Om Tatsat Brahmarpanamastu. Thank you. Let us study for some time Yoga Darshanam also. Yeah, stop recording.